Hello my awesome people. Today we are gonna make this number API. So here you can see that you need to give it a number and it will tell you an interesting fact. So let's try it. So let's use 45. So as you can see that we have an interesting fact about 45. Very impressive. So that's what we are gonna make in this video. Hope you will like this. And no more talk, let's dive into it. So we are in now day 4 of our this 30-day 30 submits challenge. And for the day 4, what we are gonna do actually, we are gonna work with this numbers API. Hope you guys will like it. And so if you are interested to check out this repo, I will link it in the description so you will get it. And if you come, please give it a star, I will appreciate it. So let's go to the code. So here you can see that there's the HTML, CSS and the JavaScript and all are empty. So let's create the layout with the HTML first, and here we have the document and let's give it the title. So numbers API, and here is our body. So in the body we'll have a section. So let's have a section, and in the section we'll have a div of container. So container with the class of container actually. So here we will have two things. First thing is the form. So here we are going to put the number, and so in the form we don't need any kind of action. So in here, so let's have two things. One thing is the input, which will be the number. So numbers, and we don't need any name and ID for now. And also we will have another thing, which is the button. So for the button we will say that type will be the submit button, and for the button text let's say that submit. And here in our input let's also give it a placeholder. So placeholder will be enter a name, enter a number, So that's it for the form. And let's come to the after the form. Here let's have a div with a class of number fact. So in this div what we'll have is we will have our facts which we will gonna fetch from the API. For now let's say that something like that as a placeholder. So that's it pretty much for our HTML. So also let's link the style sheet here and also the JavaScript here. So let's open it with the live server here. So as you can see that that's what it is looking right now. So let's come to the style.css and make some style for this one. So I'm using Nonito fonts, and which you can grab it from the Google's font, so that's not a big deal. And let's go to the other styles, and here in the universal style, so let's say that padding will be 0 and margin will be 0, and also box sizing will be the border box. So after that let's come to the HTML and apply the fonts. So font family will be the Nonito, so Nonito, and also come here and say that sans serif has a fallback font family, and font size will be 10 pixel. So after that let's come to the body. So body here, and say that background color, so I will use a blackish background color. So let me copy the color for you. So that's the color as you can see, and also let's say that color will be the white, which will apply on the fonts as you can see, and also min height 100 VH and display flex, and also let's say that width will be 100%. After that align items center and justify content center. So everything is now center as you can see. So after that let's come to the section. So here let's say that width will be 100%, and also say that max width, not max width, so width is 100%, it's okay. So let's come to the container, and where I will say that width will be 90% of our section, and also let's give it a max width of 450 pixel and margin 0. auto. So now it will remain in the center, so we will have something like that here. So if I give it a background color, if you can see, so let's give it aqua. So that's what we have now in the center, as you can see. So I don't need any background color. So let's come to the form. So form, we have only one form, so that's why I can directly select it. So let me check the recording is working. Yeah, everything is fine. So here in our form, let's say that width will be 100%, and also say that the background color for the form, so the background color for the form will be a blackish color. So let me copy the color, so it will be something like that. So we have this background color, as you can see. So also say that we will have a padding of something like 20 pixel and also border radius of 8 pixel. So looking fine. So after that, let's style the input. So here we will have this input, which is the type of number. So here let's say that width will be 70% of the form, so it will go all the 70%, and height will be something like 40 pixel. And also let's give it a border radius. So border radius will be 4 pixel. Yeah, we have the border radius. And also let's say that outline none, and also let's say that we will have no border. And let's give it a background color. So the color that I want to use is this one. And as you can see that we have now the background color. And also let's come to the font size of 24 pixel. And also let's say that color that I want is Alice blue, something like that, and that will apply on the actual font if I type, as you can see. So that's the Alice blue. We have the default color for this our placeholder, but we will change it in a minute. So also let's give it a padding in the left side, which will be 10 pixel. Fine. So everything is fine. Actually we need to use none. Now we don't have this border. So after that, let's come to the placeholder. So it is the input, which type is number, and here I can say that placeholder. So placeholder, and let's say that font size will be about 24 pixel. Already have 24 pixel. So font family, so let's give it a font family, which will be the Noneto. And also font weight 400. So fine, everything is looking fine now. And after that, let's come to the button now. Button. So for the button, what I wanna do, actually I wanna say that display is inline block, and also say that width will be 25% of the form. So we will down the width. So font size will be the 24 pixel, and also the height will be something like 40 pixel. So that's the similar height that we have for our input. So let's also have a background color, which will be the similar as we have before. So that's it. Also let's remove the border. So border will be none, and also outline will be the none. So let's have a border radius. So border radius will be the 4 pixel. Perfect. And also let's have a gap here. So margin left will be about 10 pixel. Yeah, good, looking fine for now. And finally we need a pointer event here. So cursor point, not pointer event, I need the cursor pointer actually. And also let's make the color white, Alice white. Perfect. So after that, let's come to this section, which is the our number fact div actually. So we will have almost similar design or similar style that we have in the form. So we can apply the class here. So let's say that number fact. So now as you can see that we have almost similar kind of style. So I want to change something, also say that I want to have the margin top here. So number fact margin top will be 20 pixel or 10 pixel. Yeah, 10 pixel is looking better now. Height will be something like auto, and also font size, let's say that 20 pixel. Perfect. Now as you can see that we have our UI ready here. So let's come to the JavaScript part. So here let's say that first of all we need to grab the form, and also we need to grab the div. So let's grab those things. So constant form equals to document dot query selector, and I want to get the form, so we can directly grab it. Also grab the div, so constant something like number, or we can say that fact div, and we can grab it something like that document dot query selector, and we can say number fact, because we have this class in our this div. So first of all, what I want to do actually here in our form, I want to add a event listener. So form dot add event listener, which will be a submit event. So when I will submit, I will run this function. So in this function, what I want to do, so let's create the function here. So in this function, what I want to do is I want to fetch the API. So also let's pass the event here. So we have a default behavior in our form. When we submit the form, it will refresh the page. So but we don't want to refresh our page. So for that, what we can say that e.prevent default. So what it will do is it will prevent the default behavior of our form. So after that, what I want to do actually, I want to get the number which I am typing here. So for that, what I can do actually, I can say something like the number constant number. So we can say that e.target means our form dot query selector. We can select the input that we want to get the number or the value. So we can say something like input, and if you want, you can also pass the type, which is the number. So it will grab the input type number, and what I want to do actually from this input, I want to get the value of the input, which is actually the number. So if I console log this number, we will say number here, and finally we should see the console log of our input. So if I come here and open this console log here, and if I say something like 23 and submit, as you can see that we have 23. If I say something 45, as you can see we have the 45 in our constant, which is this constant in this number constant. So that's what we are basically doing here. And after that, let's have a loading text here. So constant load text equals, so that's the loading text, and let's add it here when we will load our this fetch, because when we fetch our URL, it will take a little bit of second, and in this second I want to show this text in our this div. So for that, I can say something like fact div dot inner HTML equals to our load text. So whenever now I will submit something, anything, so as you can see that it's saying that wait a little bit. So looking good. So after that, let's fetch actually our API. So for that, let's call the fetch function here, and for the fetch function we need our base URL. So what also we can do actually, we can create a constant for the base URL, or you can directly pass the URL inside the fetch function. So I will create a base URL here. So base URL equals to, so it is something like http numbersapi.com. so that's the base URL that we are going to fetch. And actually let's also add this slash after the URL. So what I can do actually, now we can say that base URL. So we are having the URL now, but what I want to actually do, and after the base URL, what I also want to do actually, I want to put the number that we have in our input, something like 34. If I give 34, as you can see that only then we will have our interesting fact about the 34. So we want to get the number from our input. Also, as you can see that we already did this in here. And now one thing we need to do also, here in the end of our URL we need to add this number, so we can say that number. So what I have now is, we have this URL, and in the end of our URL we are adding this number, which is the value of this input. So perfect. So after that we don't need to give any kind of header, or we don't need any kind of method for now. It is a very simple basic fetch API. So that's here. After the fetch we will have a response, so say that response, and also let's pass it here and console log it so that I can show you console log the response. So now if I come here in our console log, we should have our response of this 23 submit fetch API. So as you can see that we have this response here. So if you can see that all the status and all the other thing and the URL that we fetched here, so all the things is okay. Now what I want to do actually, I want to get the text from the response. So what I can do actually, I can say that response dot text, and it will return us the text of the fetch API from our numbers API. So now let's console log the text. So let's say that I have the text and console.log text. Now we should have our text here in our console log. So if I came here and 23 and submit, and here is an interesting fact about the 23 number. So looking good. And finally we need to append this, or we need to actually not append, we need to make the inner HTML of our this fact tip. So let's give it, so fact tip dot inner HTML dot inner HTML equals to our this text. So now what it will do, it will directly fetch the API and get the text, and we will put the text in our this fact tip. So if I give it something like 45 and submit, now you can see that 45 is the number. We have an interesting fact about the 45. So let's also give 34, submit, and here is our this 34 interesting fact. So if you can notice that we have 46, if I submit it, we have the loading text slightly here, because this fetch is going to take some time, and in this time what I'm showing is, we are showing this load text here. Okay, so if you want you can do anything else. That's pretty much done, but we have a problem. So if you can see that that's the number API, and if you can see that it is not secure because we have HTTP instead of HTTPS. So for that, in many live website it may not work. So for that, what we can do is, we can use the course anywhere. So to fix the issue, what we can do actually, we can use a proxy URL, as you can see here. So what it will do actually, this course anywhere. So if I open their GitHub here, as you can see that, so as you can see, the course anywhere is a Node.js proxy which adds course header to our proxy request. So that's what the course anywhere do, and we can use it very easily. So what we need to do actually, we need to get this URL. So I'll put the link of all of these in the description, so you do not need to worry. So what we need to do actually, I need to get the URL from here, and we need to paste it before our this base URL, and that's what we need. We don't need to do anything else. Now as you can see that that's our base URL, and after that, when we add our course anywhere URL before our numbers API, what we need to do actually, we need to get, or we need to make a header for our request. So let's actually add a header here. So it is in the fetch and after the URL we will add this object, and let's say that method will be the get, and also headers, and here let's say that we need to pass x requested with, and we can say that text plain, and now it will work also. As you can see, if I give it 23, it should give a fact, so it is not working. So as you can see that we have this problem, they have a limit for the request. So actually let's apply it in, so let's change the origin here. So actually let's do something like, it should work, desktop numbers API. If I do something like that, it should work directly. So as you can see that it's work because we changed the API, sorry, we changed the origin here. As you can see, now it is totally fine, and now we can use it in anywhere, or you can use it in a live website. It will not break the code anymore. So thank you very much. That's it for today. I hope you liked this video and learned something new. And if you like this kind of video, please subscribe the channel, because I make this kind of website related video or web development related video. So I will see you in those videos, and till then, bye bye, Khuda Hafiz.